arrange these things. And when Kṛṣṇa decides, then we will get a bona fide guru. And if Kṛṣṇa does not approve, then we will get cheater guru. See? Usually that's what happens. When people look for guru by their own efforts, they get cheater guru. And they get cheated. Sai Baba. Hey, Sai Baba, let me borrow your comb, man. I want one of those do's, man. One of those fro. Anyway. Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa is doing all these. Kṛṣṇa is arranging all these things. You see, most people who say they're interested in spiritual life, really, they just want the honor and the prestige that goes with being into spiritual life. They think it's cool to be into spiritual life, or maybe their friends think it's cool. And so they want to look cool to their friends, you see? So really they're thinking, their desire in their heart is, oh man, I really want to look cool to my friends. See? That's the desire in their heart. So Kṛṣṇa says, okay, well, since you're not really interested in spiritual life and you just want to look cool, it doesn't really matter if you get a bona fide guru. So here's this whole raft of cheater gurus. Just pick anyone, that's all right. They're all the same. Huh? Oh, it is all one, you are God, yes, yes. Kṛṣṇa. Huh? So many cheater gurus. Take your pick. So if you choose, you will choose wrongly. But if you pray to Kṛṣṇa and you say, Kṛṣṇa, I don't know anything about spiritual life. I don't know what's right or wrong. I don't know who's real and who's a cheater. You please arrange it somehow or other that I will find a real guru. And then you let Kṛṣṇa do his thing. Let Kṛṣṇa make the arrangement. Let Kṛṣṇa find your guru. Let Kṛṣṇa hook you up with your guru. See? And then your desire is simply, I just want to, whatever the teaching is or whatever the practice is, let me just do it. Let me just do it and please you. See? If we think like that, then Kṛṣṇa will be very happy to arrange our spiritual advancement. Try to understand Kṛṣṇa's mentality. He has unlimited resources, unlimited power, unlimited. He's God. He's always been God. He's always going to be God. Nothing can threaten his position. You know? Least of all, a little human being. So when we approach Kṛṣṇa and we say, yeah, now I'm going to worship you, and yeah, I'm going to be the best devotee, I'm going to be the greatest devotee in the whole world, and everything. Kṛṣṇa's like, yeah, really? Mm-hmm. Heard that one before. Kṛṣṇa's been there, done that. You know, he knows the whole game. He's seen so many people, so many pretentious fools. Because this science or this practice of devotional service is not easy. It's not easy. It means going against nature. It means going against our conditioning for thousands and millions of births. You see? Where do we get the power to do that? We don't have the power to do that. We can't do that. Huh? And if we try to do it ourselves, we just fall down. We just fail. So how can we actually advance in spiritual life? By the power of Kṛṣṇa. So Kṛṣṇa is actually managing our body, our mind, our intelligence, everything. The environment, the whole thing. Everything belongs to Kṛṣṇa. Everything's under the control of Kṛṣṇa. Everything is Kṛṣṇa's energy. It follows his will. So, if we say to Kṛṣṇa, okay, I surrender, I can't do anything on my own. You please manage everything. Then Kṛṣṇa will say, oh, sure, no problem. And he just gives a few orders, and by his desire, so many obstacles disappear, and one thing leads to another, and pretty soon we find ourselves in a condition of advanced devotional service, not by our own efforts, although we cooperate, certainly, but we have to understand very clearly where the power to advance in spiritual life actually comes from. It actually comes from Kṛṣṇa. The power to do everything. The power to breathe, the power to speak, the power to think, to see, all the senses and everything. This is all done by Kṛṣṇa. It's not done by us. It took hundreds of years for scientists to analyze even the first most basic things about the nervous system and the senses and how they work and everything. And they still don't really know how they work. I mean, they've gotten to the point now, this is the latest thing now, where if somebody's, let's say their eye is destroyed, they can now put a little chip that will give them like really blurry vision. Or if their ear is destroyed, like in an accident or something, they can implant an artificial cochlea in the ear. And the person can regain maybe 50% of their hearing. But they cannot duplicate the functions of even one of the senses. Not even one. These rascals. And they say they're going to create life and they're going to make people live forever and all this nonsense. It's just bluffing. They don't really know what they're doing. They're just groping in the dark, blindly imitating nature. And they're making some tiny little progress. But they'll never be able to create a complete living being because they don't have power over the soul. Only Kṛṣṇa has power over the soul. Try to understand. A living being is not a mechanical thing. A living being requires this soul, consciousness, intelligence, personality, all these things. And the scientists can never do that. Never. Never in a million years. Because their approach is completely wrong. They're trying to do it all by their own endeavor. You see? And when you do that, Kṛṣṇa says, hey, Maya, we got another one. You take care of this one. And so she bewilders him, you know. And they're like, oh yes, our knowledge is growing day after day. Pretty soon I'll be immortal. Just like Hiranyakashipu. Well, wait a minute. Maybe that's not such a good example. Because the Lord always manages to put such rascals in their place. Just like now, we're coming into a time when there's going to be many catastrophes in the material world. And the big demons who are so proud of their position are all going to be cast down. All these things were foretold such a long time ago. It's all there in the Bhavishya Purana. It's all there in the Bible. It's all there in every scripture in the world. But the rascals don't listen. They don't surrender to Kṛṣṇa. They think, oh, I can do everything all by my own power. But this is just empty pride. It's bluffing. They're hoping it's true, but it actually, deep down somewhere inside, they know that they're just insignificant and weak, and they can't do it. But if they can make a bluff and one or two people believe it, well, I guess that's good enough for them. But it's not good enough for us. We want the real truth. And the real truth is that Kṛṣṇa is doing everything. So if you really want spiritual life, or even if you really want just a tolerably happy material life, you have to surrender to God. You have to surrender to Kṛṣṇa, because He's the real doer. He's the real owner. He's the real knower. He's the knower of the field. And He's the doer, the operator of the machine of the material body and mind. See? We're just along for the ride. We're dependent, completely dependent on Kṛṣṇa in every way. And the quicker we learn that, the quicker we stop beating ourselves up by trying to do the impossible.